Urban life is supposed to be about opportunity, progress, and community, but sometimes city planning goes terribly wrong. From abandoned megaprojects to overcrowded slums, strange architectural experiments, and extreme environmental challenges, the modern city can feel more like a nightmare than a home. The city built on a lake, Mexico. Beneath the sprawling metropolis of Mexico City lies a hidden secret. This isn't just any city. It was once a vast, shimmering lake. Lake Texcoco stretched across the Valley of Mexico, a fertile and water-rich landscape where the ancient Aztecs built their capital, Tenochtitlan, on a network of canals and islands. Over centuries, colonial and modern engineers drained the lake to make way for urban expansion, creating the massive city we see today. But building on a drained lakebed comes with a steep cost. The soft, waterlogged soil causes the city to sink unevenly. Some areas drop as much as 10 centimeters per year. Streets tilt, historic colonial buildings crack, and bridges and roads warp under the pressure. Infrastructure struggles to keep pace with the city's growth, forcing constant repairs and reinforcements. Life here is a delicate balancing act. Residents navigate a city constantly at odds with the ground beneath them, all while facing the dual threats of earthquakes and seasonal flooding. Water management systems, retaining walls, and modern engineering projects attempt to hold the city together, but nature's forces remain relentless. Mexico City is a living paradox, a thriving urban center built on fragile foundations, where daily life is a constant negotiation with the earth itself. The vertical slums of Rio de Janeiro. High above Rio de Janeiro's famous beaches and tourist streets, a very different city rises, one built not for luxury but for sheer survival. Rocinha, Brazil's largest favela, climbs the hillsides like a jagged, chaotic skyscraper, where homes are stacked atop one another in defiance of gravity and urban planning. From the ground, it looks like a dense, impenetrable mass of brick, corrugated metal, and makeshift structures. From above, it forms a twisting labyrinth of human ingenuity. Life here is crowded, chaotic, and dangerous. Narrow alleyways wind between homes, electricity is often tapped illegally, and access to clean water is limited. Fires, landslides, and crime are constant threats. Yet despite these hardships, Rocinha pulses with life and resilience. Streets are lined with informal markets, barbershops, and schools that residents built themselves. Music, laughter, and the hum of daily life fill the alleys, creating a vibrant community that refuses to be defined by its struggles. In Rocinha, survival depends on adaptation. Families have carved out living spaces, social networks, and even informal economies high above the city streets. It is a place of contrasts, danger and creativity, poverty and community, chaos and order, all stacked in precarious harmony. The vertical favela is a stark reminder that human resilience can thrive even in the harshest urban environments. The Ghost Metro, Ordos, China. Ordos, located in Inner Mongolia, was meant to be a model of China's urban ambition, a sprawling city built to house over 1 million residents, complete with luxury apartments, wide boulevards, and massive shopping centers. But ambition quickly collided with reality. Today, Ordos is a ghost city. Its streets are immaculate but silent, schools stand empty, and the vast malls, designed for bustling crowds, sit without a single customer. Originally, Ordos was conceived to attract the wealthy and fuel regional growth, part of a government push to expand urbanization rapidly. Developers built towering apartment complexes, government offices, and infrastructure at a staggering pace, anticipating an influx of residents. But the market never materialized. Houses went unsold, schools remained closed, and entire neighborhoods became desolate. Walking through Ordos today is like stepping into a frozen urban dream. Skyscrapers gleam in the sun, streetlights flicker over empty roads, and traffic signals change without ever stopping a car. The city's silence is almost eerie, a monument to human ambition outpacing practical demand. Ordos stands as a haunting testament to what can happen when grand plans fail, a modern ghost town waiting for life that may never come. The Walled City Reborn, Kowloon, Hong Kong. Once a name synonymous with chaos, Kowloon walled city was the densest urban settlement on the planet. At its peak, around 50,000 people lived within just 6 acres, a staggering concentration that defied imagination. Towering tenements rose atop one another, alleys twisted in impossible directions, and every inch of space was claimed by makeshift homes, shops, and workshops. It was a city without formal planning, a place where human ingenuity and sheer necessity carved out life in vertical layers. Inside Kowloon, residents navigated a labyrinth of narrow corridors and staircases where sunlight rarely penetrated. Water pipes, electrical wiring, and ventilation systems were improvised, often unsafe, but they allowed daily life to continue in a densely packed community. Families, small businesses, schools, and temples coexisted in a chaotic harmony. Despite crime, health hazards, and extreme overcrowding, the walled city had its own social order, its own sense of community that outsiders could hardly comprehend. By the 1990s, authorities demolished the settlement, citing safety concerns and urban modernization. In its place, Kowloon Walled City Park now offers a peaceful, meticulously landscaped space, preserving only fragments of its former life. Yet the legacy of Kowloon lives on, as a testament to human resilience, resourcefulness, and the ability to thrive in the most extreme urban conditions. It remains a lesson for city planners worldwide. Density and disorder may be challenging, but they also reveal how communities can adapt and survive against all odds. The floating city, Makoko, Nigeria. On the shimmering waters of Lagos Lagoon lies Makoko, a city that defies conventional urban design. Built almost entirely on stilts above the water, Makoko is a floating slum where homes, schools, and markets perch precariously above the lagoon, connected by narrow wooden planks and small boats that serve as both transport and lifelines. Life here is a constant negotiation with the environment. Flooding is frequent, particularly during heavy rains, and sanitation is a major challenge. Waste often ends up directly in the water below. Electricity is scarce, with many households relying on improvised wiring, and access to clean water is limited. Yet, despite these hardships, Makoko is far from lifeless. The residents of Makoko have turned necessity into innovation. Children navigate the maze of wooden walkways with ease, vendors ply their trade from boats, and entire communities function in a delicate balance above the lagoon. Schools operate on stilts, religious and social gatherings bring people together, and families have created homes that, though fragile, are resilient. Makoko is more than a slum, it's a testament to human adaptability and ingenuity. In a city where the ground is literally unstable, the community has learned to float above uncertainty, turning vulnerability into a vibrant, functioning urban ecosystem that survives, and even thrives, against the odds. The overpopulated capital, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Dhaka, the heart of Bangladesh, is one of the fastest-growing cities on Earth, and one of the most densely populated. Over 21 million people cram into a space smaller than London, creating a city where every street, alley, and open patch of land teems with life. Traffic congestion is legendary, air pollution hangs thick like a grey blanket, and neighbourhoods stretch to their limits, with homes and markets packed shoulder to shoulder. Daily life here is a constant struggle. Rickshaws, buses, and cars jostle through impossibly narrow streets. Street vendors navigate the chaos, calling out their wares amidst the cacophony of horns and engines. In many neighborhoods, water and sanitation services struggle to meet the sheer demand, and infrastructure groans under the weight of constant expansion. Yet, despite these challenges, Dhaka pulses with relentless energy. Markets buzz with traders selling everything from vegetables to electronics. Communities find ingenious ways to adapt to cramped conditions, transforming rooftops into gardens, alleyways into classrooms, and even small corners into tiny businesses. Every resident becomes a part of a sprawling, improvisational urban ecosystem where survival depends on resourcefulness and cooperation. Dhaka is a city of extremes, chaotic, suffocating, and yet vibrant. It is a living testament to human resilience, showing how millions can carve out a life, a livelihood, and a sense of community even in conditions that seem almost impossible. In every cramped street and crowded neighborhood, Dhaka tells the story of urban density pushed to its limits, and the people who make it work against all odds. The mountain megacity, La Paz, Bolivia. Perched high in the Andes, La Paz is a city that defies traditional urban design. Unlike many sprawling metropolises, it climbs steep mountainsides, with neighborhoods precariously perched on cliffs and plateaus. The city's layout is dictated by the terrain. Roads twist, switchback, and spiral around jagged slopes, creating a sense of verticality that's rare in any city of its size. Living here comes with constant challenges. Altitude sickness affects newcomers and tourists alike, while the steep streets and narrow pathways make transportation and infrastructure difficult. Landslides during heavy rains pose real dangers, and daily commutes often involve climbing countless flights of stairs or navigating winding roads that seem to go nowhere. Yet, despite these hardships, La Paz is alive with energy. The city's markets overflow with vibrant colors, smells, and sounds. Street vendors sell everything from fresh produce to traditional crafts, while locals barter, chat, and move through the bustling streets with practiced agility. Cable cars snake across valleys and connect far-flung neighborhoods, offering both transport and breathtaking views. Life in La Paz requires resilience, ingenuity, and a willingness to adapt to an environment that is as unforgiving as it is stunning. La Paz is a testament to human determination, showing that even in extreme vertical conditions, communities can flourish. From cliffside homes to lively plazas, the city embodies a unique harmony between human habitation and mountainous terrain, where challenges are immense, but so too is the spirit of the people who call this extraordinary megacity home. The city of endless construction, Jakarta, Indonesia. Jakarta is a city in perpetual motion, a metropolis that seems to exist in a constant state of building, rebuilding, and expanding. With rapid population growth and relentless urban development, skyscrapers rise beside unfinished towers, roads are always under construction, and neighborhoods vanish almost overnight to make way for new projects. The skyline is a chaotic patchwork of cranes, scaffolding, and half-completed structures, reflecting a city that never quite stops reshaping itself. Beneath this ceaseless development, Jakarta faces deeper challenges. Much of the city is sinking due to groundwater extraction, making it prone to flooding during the rainy season. Streets often disappear beneath water, while informal settlements and low-lying neighborhoods struggle to cope with rising tides. Despite these risks, residents continue to adapt, navigating waterlogged streets, adjusting homes, and finding ways to maintain businesses and daily life amidst constant disruption. Life in Jakarta is a sensory overload. The roar of engines, the hum of construction, the bustle of markets, and the clamor of millions of people navigating a city that seems to grow and change by the day. Yet, amid the chaos, there is an undeniable resilience. Communities endure, businesses persist, and the city keeps moving forward, refusing to pause for the challenges that threaten its stability. Jakarta is more than just a city under construction. It is a testament to human persistence, showing how urban life can survive, adapt, and even thrive in an environment defined by uncertainty, upheaval, and the relentless push for growth. The deserted high-rises, ghost towns of Dubai. Beyond the glittering skyline of Dubai's city centre lies a starkly different reality, a landscape of empty towers, unfinished skyscrapers, and abandoned construction sites. These high-rise skeletons are the remnants of speculative building booms where ambition raced ahead of demand. In the midst of one of the wealthiest cities on Earth, entire neighborhoods stand silent, devoid of life, their concrete and glass facades gleaming under the relentless desert sun. Walking among these structures feels like stepping into a modern ruin. Elevators sit idle, hallways echo with emptiness, and once promising residential complexes await inhabitants who never arrived. The contrast is jarring. Just a few kilometers away, luxury malls, resorts, and bustling streets tell a story of affluence, while here, silence dominates. These deserted towers are a haunting reminder of how rapid urban development, when fueled by speculation, can leave a city with monuments to dreams that never materialized. Yet, there's a strange beauty in the emptiness. Sunlight reflects off glass panes, sand drifts through unfinished corridors, and the desert gradually reclaims what was interrupted by human ambition. For Dubai, these ghost high-rises are more than just abandoned buildings. They are lessons in the fragility of urban planning and the consequences of unchecked growth. They stand as solemn witnesses to the city's relentless pursuit of modernity, even when reality can't always keep pace. The city of smog, Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Winter in Ulaanbaatar transforms Mongolia's capital into one of the most polluted cities on Earth. The city's famous Jer districts, clusters of traditional yurts, become a source of survival as residents burn coal to keep warm in temperatures that can plummet below -30 degrees Celsius. What follows is a suffocating blanket of thick, toxic smog that drapes over the entire city, reducing visibility to a few meters and turning the skyline into a ghostly grey haze. Life under this smog is harsh. Hospitals overflow with patients suffering from respiratory illnesses, schools struggle to keep children safe, and everyday tasks like commuting or shopping become hazardous endeavors. The pollution is not just a health crisis, it's a social challenge, reflecting the tension between centuries-old traditions and the pressures of modern urban life. While coal burning provides immediate warmth, it comes at the cost of the air people breathe and the health of the next generation. Despite these challenges, Ulaanbaatar's residents persist. Children play amid the haze, markets bustle with activity, and families adapt to life under the clouded skies. The city's struggle is a vivid portrait of urban survival in extreme conditions, a place where tradition and modernity collide, and where the human spirit endures even when the air itself seems against it. Port-au-Prince, post-disaster urban chaos. Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti, tells a harrowing story of survival against relentless adversity. The city has been battered by earthquakes, hurricanes, and years of political instability, leaving thousands of residents to live in makeshift shelters. Streets are crowded with tents, debris, and collapsed buildings, creating a chaotic urban landscape where daily life is a constant struggle. Access to clean water, sanitation, and electricity is severely limited. Open drains and stagnant water are breeding grounds for disease, while collapsed infrastructure makes transportation and emergency services nearly impossible. Children play amid rubble, and families cook over open fires, turning survival into a daily ritual rather than a choice. Despite the chaos, resilience persists. Local communities form support networks, aid organizations attempt to deliver relief, and residents carve out small spaces of order in a city dominated by disaster. Yet, the sheer density of people living in unsafe conditions, combined with recurring natural disasters, makes Port-au-Prince a stark example of urban vulnerability, a city where the line between life and survival is painfully thin. Caracas, extreme inequality and danger. Caracas, Venezuela's sprawling capital, is a city divided between wealth and despair. On one side, luxury high-rises tower over the skyline. On the other, sprawling slums like Petare cling precariously to steep hillsides. Houses are stacked haphazardly, sometimes with entire families crammed into a single room, while narrow alleyways wind between brick walls that seem to lean on each other for support. Infrastructure is nearly non-existent. Electricity flickers unpredictably, water is scarce, and sanitation barely exists, turning everyday life into a struggle for survival. Crime is a constant threat. Gang violence, armed robberies, and robberies are part of the fabric of daily life. Residents navigate their streets carefully, never knowing which corner might hide danger. Yet, amid the chaos, life persists. Communities form tight-knit networks, neighbors share resources, and children play in alleys despite the dangers. Caracas embodies a city of extremes, where wealth and poverty collide in stark contrast, and survival isn't just about making a living, it's about outlasting the dangers that surround you. Manila, the Tondo slum cluster. Tondo, one of Manila's oldest districts, is a striking portrait of urban overcrowding pushed to the extreme. Here, multi-story shanties rise like precarious towers, built haphazardly from corrugated metal, wood, and salvaged materials. Narrow alleys snake through the district, often clogged with trash, stagnant water, and the debris of daily life. During the monsoon season, flooding turns streets into rivers, forcing residents to wade through waist-deep water just to reach home or school. Life in Tondo is a constant negotiation with space and survival. Multiple families cram into single rooms, sharing whatever meager resources they can. Sanitation is limited, clean water is scarce, and the threat of fire or structural collapse looms over every home. Yet, despite the chaos, a resilient community thrives. Street vendors sell food along alleyways, children weave through the labyrinth of homes to play, and neighbors support one another in ways that outsiders rarely see. Tondo is more than just a slum, it's a densely packed ecosystem of human endurance. Overcrowded, chaotic, and perilous, the district exemplifies the extremes of urban life, where daily survival is a battle against both nature and the limitations of the city itself. That's all for today. If you found this exploration of urban hells on Earth fascinating, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world's most extraordinary places.